This video will cover how to add manure or biosolids sources to your Manure and Biosolids tab in the Nutrients page of SnapPlus version 3. I'm starting here in a plan that doesn't yet have any manure or biosolids sources. To add my first source, I'll confirm that I'm in the correct crop year and then click plus new manure source. I need to provide a name for the source and select an organic nutrient type from the list. In this example, I'll start with a dairy liquid type. Once I've selected the organic nutrient type, I can see that I have rows populated in the manure quantities table and the manure analysis table. Starting out with the manure quantities table, I can see that this table is populated by crop year, and I'm working in crop year 2026. Here, I can enter an available quantity for this particular source. So in my case, I'll enter 1 million gallons to get started. If any of this manure is transferred off the farm, I can enter that value here. If none is transferred, it's okay to enter 0 here. If you transfer any manure off the farm, SnapPlus will do the math for you by subtracting this amount that was transferred from the total amount that you've put that's annually available here. This number is the amount that you'll need to plan for from this particular source. If we look down below for the PIT 1 source that we've just added, we can see that SnapPlus starts with a book value. Book values are an option for you to use if you are a 590 farm, but if you have a manure analysis, that's an even better way to be more accurate with planning applications from this particular source. I can add a new manure analysis in a couple different ways. If I have lab data that I like to enter by hand, I can click the plus new manure analysis button and then give a name to my analysis. This one I'll call fall 2024, and then I'll provide the date that my analysis was done. And then I can click into each of these boxes and enter values that are coming from my lab results. Now that I've entered a manure analysis, you can see that the book value has disappeared and SnapPlus is using the analysis that I've entered for planning from this source. If I have another analysis to enter, I can click plus new analysis again and enter a new value. Here I'll enter a spring 2025 analysis. And then I'll put these values here by clicking into the box and entering them just as I did before. I can see that I made an error in my previous analysis for fall 2024 and forgot to put the decimal point here. So I can go in and correct that error right now by adding the decimal point, and SnapPlus will save that updated data, and it will also update any applications it had made from that source. And now I'm ready to show you how to use multiple manure analyses to create an average. Here, for my PIT 1 source, I have the spring 2025 and fall 2024 analyses. I can create an average right within SnapPlus by clicking the Create Average button. I click to highlight any of the analyses I'd like to average, and then I click Save. I'll give this one a name, which is my 2025 average, and SnapPlus will save the average values that it got by averaging the 2 rows that I selected from my manure analysis table. Notice that I now have the choice to check the box Use for Planning for my average. That means that when I'm working on my plan and adding applications from the PIT 1 source, I'm telling SnapPlus that I would like to use these nutrient values from my average for the planned applications. The other option for entering manure analysis data is by importing a spreadsheet. You can see the spreadsheet format required by clicking Download Manure Analysis Import Template here. When you click this, you'll see that you have a CSV file that's saved to your download folder. You can open and review the file to make sure that your data is in the correct format. Once you've confirmed that your data is in the correct format, you can click Import Manure Analysis. When I click Import Manure Analysis, I get a pop-up. I can click Select File and then navigate to the place on my computer where I've saved my manure analysis data. Once I've selected that file, I click Open. In the pop-up, you'll see red text anywhere that SnapPlus finds some sort of invalid data. Here, you can see that SnapPlus is not finding a source name PIT 1, but if I click here, I can see a list of my existing sources. In this case, the problem is that I need to match the name of the manure source exactly, so I can go in and select PIT 1 with the correct spelling and spacing to make sure that these manure analyses are assigned to the correct source. Once I've corrected any errors and no longer have any red text, I can click the Import button. When I click Import, Those 3 samples that I just brought in from my spreadsheet will be shown in the table for my pit 1 source.